If you've been thinking about setting up an international business structure that gives you access to world-class banking, a highly respected legal system, and reasonable corporate tax rates, then Singapore might be exactly what you're looking for. But let me be clear up front. Singapore is not a cheap offshore setup. This is a premium jurisdiction built for serious businesses. It's trusted by banks, payment processors, and international clients, and that credibility comes from strict compliance and real substance. Singapore works best for legitimate online businesses that need strong credibility, especially if you plan to scale internationally, access Asian markets, or look for options to raise investments. On the other hand, if your only goal is to set up and forget, Singapore is not the right choice. Compliance here is taken seriously. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to open a Singapore company as a foreigner, the requirements, how incorporation works, what banking looks like, and how to stay compliant so you can actually benefit from the structure. By the end, you'll know whether Singapore makes sense for you and how to move forward if it does. Before we dive into the actual setup process, you need to understand why Singapore has more requirements than a lot of other places. Singapore has built its reputation on being a clean, well-regulated business environment. The government wants to make sure that companies incorporated here are legitimate and properly managed. This isn't like setting up a US LLC where you can basically file some paperwork and you're done. Singapore requires ongoing compliance, proper corporate governance, and real substance behind your business. The upside is that this creates trust. When you tell clients or investors you have a Singapore company, they know it means something. So for startups, it's absolutely one of the best jurisdictions in the world. Now let me show you the requirements. First, every Singapore company must have at least one local director. This means you need either a Singapore citizen, a permanent resident, or someone who has a valid employment pass to serve as a director of your company. Now, if you're a foreigner who doesn't live in Singapore, you obviously don't have access to someone like this. And that's where a nominee director service comes in. A nominee director is essentially a local person who agrees to serve as the official director on paper, but they don't have any real control over your business decisions. This isn't just a name on a document though. The nominee director has real legal responsibilities and can be held liable if your company violates Singapore regulations. That's why you want to work with a reputable service provider who properly vets their nominee directors. Also, every Singapore company must also appoint a qualified company secretary within 6 months of incorporation. The company secretary handles all your statutory filings, maintains your corporate records, and makes sure you stay compliant within Singapore law. This is a legal requirement and you can't do this yourself if you're managing the company from overseas. The company secretary needs to be either a Singapore resident or a qualified corporate secretarial firm. You also need a registered address in Singapore where the government can send official correspondence and regulatory notices. This has to be a physical address, you can't use a PO box, and most foreign entrepreneurs use their service provider's address for this, which is completely legitimate and widely accepted. Lastly, Singapore requires a minimum share capital of just $1 Singaporean dollar. In practice, this simply means there's no real capital requirement to set up the company, you don't need to deposit money up front, and it doesn't limit you in any way. If you ever need to increase the share capital later, for banking, investors, or credibility, you can increase it at any time. For most people, this is just a formality and not something you need to worry about. Now I know this sounds like a lot to coordinate yourself, and that is definitely true, but there's a good reason why Singapore works this way. Singapore is one of the most reputable business jurisdictions in the world. It's one of the most pro-business environments with world-class infrastructure, strong rule of law, and consistently ranked among the top places globally to start, scale, and fund a company, especially for a startup. Combine that with the favorable tax system, a low 70% corporate tax with the possibility to 0% if the income is foreign sourced and stays outside Singapore. You have significant exceptions for startups, no capital gains tax, and tax-free dividends for shareholders. So while the setup and compliance requirements are stricter than in many other jurisdictions, that structure is what creates trust and credibility. And this reputation and quality is exactly why so many global businesses choose Singapore. But here's the reality. As a foreigner, you're not going to be able to handle the Singapore company setup yourself. You don't have access to SingPass, which is Singapore's digital identity system that you need to file incorporation applications and handle ongoing compliance. And even if you could somehow navigate the paperwork, you'd still need to find a nominee director, appoint a company secretary, get a registered address, and handle all the ongoing compliance requirements. That's a lot of moving parts to coordinate, especially when you're trying to run a business. Foreigners need a certified agency to file for incorporation of a business in Singapore. They provide a nominee director, they act as your company secretary, and they give you the registered address, handle the accounting, and most importantly, they handle all the ongoing compliance so you don't actually get fined or lose your good standing. The service provider I personally recommend and have partnered with is Offshore. They've incorporated over 30,000 companies globally, they handle everything completely online, and they have specific experience working with foreign entrepreneurs who are running online businesses. Offshore is based in Singapore and is fully licensed and regulated there. So if you want to open a company in Singapore, I've left a link down in the description for Offshore. From there, you can see exactly what they offer and book a free introductory call to check whether both Singapore and Offshore are the right fit for your business. During this step, they ask you some basic information about your setup, like the nature of your business, your nationality, how quickly you want the company incorporated, your estimated yearly revenue, and so on. This helps them determine the correct accounting structure and business setup for your company. Now, even if you're using a service provider, and as a foreigner you absolutely will, it's still important to understand how a Singapore company is actually formed and what's happening in the background. So let's walk through how a Singapore company is formed step by step without getting lost in paperwork. So first, Singapore's regulator is called ACRA, the Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority. And they require a few things for every new company. First, a properly structured company with a local director, a company secretary, and a registered address in Singapore, like we talked about earlier. Second, full disclosure of who owns and controls the company, including shareholders, directors, and the ultimate beneficial owner. And third, confirmation that the company is set up for ongoing compliance, not just incorporation, but annual filings, tax reporting, and governance. And this is again why foreigners can't just self-file a company in Singapore. Only a licensed filing agent is allowed to submit incorporation applications on your behalf. Step 1 is the process starts with identity verification. Every director and shareholder needs to go through KYC checks. That means passport verification, proof of address, and background screening. Your service provider will collect this information and then verify it. Then step 2 comes the company structure. This will include appointing the director, the company secretary, setting up the address in Singapore, defining the shareholder and share allocation structure, and setting paid up capital. All of this has to be structured correctly from day one, because mistakes here can cause issues later, especially with banks or tax filings. This is also where your company constitution is prepared, which is basically the rule book for how your company operates. Once everything is prepared, the company name is checked and reserved with ACRA. After that, the official incorporation application is filed. This will include the details of the director and shareholders, the registered address, your business activities, and all the corporate documents and resolutions. If everything is clean and compliant, Singapore is actually really fast here. In many cases, incorporation is completed within 1 to 3 business days. Sometimes it can take a bit longer if ACRA requires clarification, which is normal and not a red flag. Then once the company is approved, there are a few more things needed. Issuing the share certificates, setting up the statutory register, activating CorPass, which is Singapore's government access system, preparing the annual compliance records, and setting up the accounting and tax framework for the future. This will luckily all be handled by the service provider, and once everything is completed, you will receive your certificate of incorporation, your official ACRA business profile, your full statutory company documents, a fully compliant corporate structure, and access to your accounting and compliance portal. At that point, your Singapore company officially exists and is ready to move on to banking and operations. But again, I want to emphasize that Singapore doesn't make this process complicated to be difficult. They do it to ensure that companies incorporated here are legitimate, properly managed, and built for the long term. Now let's talk about banking, because this is honestly one of the most important parts of having a Singapore company. You have 3 main options here: traditional Singapore banks, digital Singapore banks, and foreign banks. Traditional banks like DBS, OCBC or UOB give you the maximum credibility and access to a full range of banking services. But as a foreign company owner, getting approved could be more challenging and in some cases requires an in-person meeting in Singapore. This depends on the nature of your business and how you will be utilizing your Singapore company. The big catch here though is any money sent here is legally received in Singapore, triggering that 70% corporate tax rate minus the exemptions. On the other hand, digital banks like Aspire or Airwallex are much more accessible for foreign entrepreneurs. The application process is entirely online, approval is usually faster, they support multi-currency operations, and they're designed specifically for online businesses. But remember that because these platforms provide you with Singaporean bank rails, this money is still usually considered remitted to Singapore for tax purposes, also triggering 70% corporate tax rates. Option 3 is opening foreign or offshore banks outside of Singapore. If you wanted 0% tax on foreign income, the money must stay outside of Singapore. Many entrepreneurs use a multi-currency account like Wise, set up under the company but using a non-SG IBAN. This keeps your income offshore and tax-free. Important to know here is that Singapore operates a modified territorial tax system. This means that generally only income that is sourced within Singapore or is received in Singapore from foreign sources is subject to tax. And operating from a Singaporean bank account is one of these requirements. Now, when applying for a traditional bank, the due diligence is much higher. They want to understand what your business does, where your customers are located, how money flows through the company, and whether your structure is compliant. This is again where using a service provider like Offshore helps significantly. Banks recognize that companies set up through licensed corporate service providers are structured correctly, have proper governance in place, and meet Singapore's compliance standards from day one. For any bank account opening, you'll need your certificate of incorporation, your business registration certificate, passport copies for all directors and shareholders, and proof of your business address. You also need to provide information about your business activities and expected transaction volumes. If you're working with Offshore, they can help facilitate introductions to their banking partners, which can significantly speed up the approval process. For digital banks, you're usually looking at 5 to 10 business days for approval once you submit all your documents. Traditional banks can take 2 to 4 weeks, but more recently, even big banks like OCBC allow foreigners to open an account fully remotely. My recommendation here is to make the decision yourself about the corporate taxes. If you want a legitimate startup with high credibility and you don't mind paying a small effective tax rate for this prestige, go with a traditional bank. If you want speed and ease of use for online businesses, digital banks are your best friend. But if you're going for the lowest taxes possible, open an offshore or foreign bank account. Then one of the unique benefits of having a Singapore company is that you can potentially use it to relocate to Singapore yourself by applying for an employment pass. That said, this is completely optional. You can run a Singapore company from anywhere in the world without ever moving there. Singapore evaluates employment pass applications using a points-based system called Compass. So to get this pass and move to Singapore, you need a minimum amount of points across a few key factors, such as your salary level, your background and qualification, and how your company is structured. I'm not diving too deep into this in this video, but just know Offshore and other agencies assist with this as well. And again, this is optional. Many foreign entrepreneurs run successful Singapore companies without ever applying for an employment pass. Now let's also go over the ongoing compliance and maintenance required when running a company. Every Singapore company must file an annual return with ACRA, maintain updated corporate records, and comply with basic corporate governance requirements. Second, there's accounting and bookkeeping. Singapore requires proper accounting records to be maintained at all times. Your financials must be accurate, structured, and ready for review. Therefore, tax compliance, corporate tax returns are due by 30 November each year. Now again, this might sound strict, and it is, but it's actually an advantage. Singapore's strong compliance framework is exactly why banks, payment processors, and international partners trust Singapore companies. And this is why working with a good service provider is so important. They handle the accounting, filings, and compliance in the background, so you don't have to worry about deadlines or regulations, so you can focus on growing the business. Let's also go over the taxes and exemptions here. Singapore has a corporate tax rate of 17%, which isn't the lowest in the world, but it's quite reasonable considering what you get in return. But as shown before, Singapore has a modified territorial tax system, meaning you only pay this over Singapore-sourced income or if income enters the country. There are also startup exemptions and incentives. New companies get significant tax exemptions for the first few years. You get a 75% exemption on the first 100,000 Singaporean dollars of profit and a 50% exemption on the next 100,000. This can reduce your effective tax rate significantly in the early years. One of the big advantages of Singapore as well is that there is no dividend tax. Once your company has paid corporate tax on its profits, you can distribute those profits to yourself as dividends without any additional tax. With that said, Singapore isn't about paying zero tax. It's about having a legitimate, scalable business structure in one of the world's most respected jurisdictions. The corporate tax rate is the price you pay for credibility, infrastructure and access to world-class banking and business services. For a comprehensive setup through Assome, you're looking at around $4,000 to $5,000 Singaporean for the first year, which includes everything you need for the company. Also on the side of Assome, we can fill in some questions. So are any of your directors Singapore citizens or permanent residents? We select no, we need a local nominee director and a registered address. Then you can enter in the expected revenue for the first year. So I will select 30 to 90,000 Singaporean dollars. Then how much involvement do you need from an accountant? I would also recommend the most popular option here, quarterly management report. So you have a 1-hour call with your accountant. And here you can also request the employment pass like I talked about earlier. As you see, this visa allows foreign professionals to work and live in Singapore. If you need that, you can select it. Then we can see the total pricing for our setup. First of all, the incorporation, how much it costs, what you're getting. Then the secretary service, the nominee director service, the address service, and then the accounting, which is included in this as well. And as we can see, we come to a total of around 4,500 Singaporean dollars, which comes down to roughly $3,500 USD. After the first year, your ongoing cost will be lower, typically around $2,000 to $3,000 Singaporean annually for the compliance, the accounting and corporate services. This covers everything you need to keep your company in good standing. If Singapore sounds right for your situation, I'd recommend starting with a consultation call with Assome. You can use my link in the description to get 60% off their services and they'll walk you through the specific requirements for your company. The key is to be honest about your business model, your revenue expectations and your long-term plans. Singapore rewards businesses that are transparent and compliant from the start. So that's the complete guide to setting up a Singapore company as a foreigner. It's not the cheapest option out there, but if you want a legitimate, scalable business structure,